Hi everybody, thanks for watching again. We are going to talk today about injuries, and we're not talking about the serious kinds of injuries, but just how to deal with the irritable soreness and troublesome type of little things that you might be dealing with right now. When we talk about that, I want to make sure that anything you have right now, everybody can measure their own pain and how they do that when they run. But if you're having anything that's not allowing you to finish, if it's an injury you've had before and you know how to get it to heal, then surely take rest and don't aggravate it anymore. But if it's something that you're still able to tolerate, these are the types of things that we're going to be dealing with on how to address those little things. All right. Now let's also just talk about first is that if you're having an injury, whether it's in your feet, whether it's in your knees, whether it's a sore, tight hamstrings, usually that is related to something else in your body. It's usually not the root cause of what the problem is. For example, if you have a sore knee right now, most likely it's the result of having weakness in your hips, in your hamstrings, in your butt, in your lower back, or in your calves. And biomechanically, as you're running, because of the weaknesses in these other areas, it's putting pressure on your knee, and your knee's not used to that type of pressure. Just as an example. So what we want to do here is just kind of talk through a little bit about how to address some of that stuff. I also want to just emphasize the importance of rest. If you're feeling extra tiredness or deadness in your muscles, or even soreness in your muscles or tendons, it's certainly okay to take an extra day off from your training program, even though it calls for that injury. The most important thing is getting to race day healthy so that you can get out and finish the race. So especially in the first few weeks, if you just started your training program, these are when usually those weaknesses start to show up. It is getting through that first 6 to 8 weeks of your training program that is so important, getting through that healthy so that that strength starts building up in your muscles and your tendons, and then you can start taking on and handling the rest of the training program going forward. So it's okay to take an extra day off. It's okay to skip a workout. We do it all the time just to help let our bodies recover and to where we can get ready for that next workout. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about too is immediately after a workout, one of the biggest things that I've learned over the years in my running is that the first 30 minutes to an hour after you have done that workout is the most important to being able to recover and be ready for your next day's workout. And the things that you're going to be doing in those 30 minutes is really ingesting the nutrients that your body needs to recover. The first thing that you're going to hear a lot of runners talk about is that you should be taking, drinking something that has 40% protein and 60% carbohydrates, and putting that down in your body in the first 30 minutes after a run. You're going to see a lot of research, a lot of science, and it's all awesome, and it's something that I follow as well. But one of the things that, and certainly want to encourage you, and the magic thing about that is it just so happens that chocolate milk or a lot of these protein shakes follow that same balance of protein to carbohydrates. And that's great. You do want to do it, and it helps deliver the protein to your muscles to help them recover. But more important than that is making sure that you're properly hydrated from that point through your workout, after your workout, and that whole day up until the next day of your workouts. I have seen some people do some huge workouts and then properly hydrate after that next day, where they should have been sore the next day, but because they're properly hydrating with water, electrolytes, and you can buy different drinks that have the electrolytes, you can take electrolyte pills with your water. Again, don't overthink it. Drinking lots of water is the most important thing, and getting properly hydrated will help you get to that next workout without feeling as tired and as sore as you would have otherwise. All right, now we're going to talk about the good stuff, the stuff that you're probably the most interested in. And a lot of times people can not be sure about whether or not I should. I have a tight hamstring right now, or it's feeling like there's a knot in my muscle, in the back of my leg, or there's a knots right now in my calf. What should I be doing? Or it's sore, it's tight. Should I be rolling, or should I be stretching? The thing to be thinking about is if you have a muscle that's knotted up, that you can feel those knots, and you can feel that, and they're sore to the touch, then you're going to roll. You're going to want to roll and massage out those knots. If it's just tight, if it's tightness that's there, you're also going to want to roll to help loosen it up, but stretching out and lengthening that muscle or that tendon is also going to be really important. Now you can see my video on stretching, so you're going to see plenty of that, but we are going to talk a little bit here about rolling. And like I mentioned in my stretching workouts, the lengthening a long muscle or a long tendon is a strong muscle and a strong tendon. You can do lots of strengthening exercises. We've got all kinds of videos out there on how to strengthen, but lengthening is just as important. Okay, but that's for stretching, and now we're going to talk about, this is a runner's best friend. This is called a foam roller. There are so many out there on the market, but let me just simply recommend pay the money for a good one. You can find a lot of cheap ones that are just these foam-based rollers that literally within the first 2 weeks they're going to start getting egg-shaped on you, and they're not going to have that firmness that you're going to need to really dig into your muscles. This is one from a company called Trigger Point, and it's my favorite. You can go to tptherapy.com. I don't know these people or get anything in return by doing this, but this is certainly my favorite. And as you get it, you're just going to simply work. We're going to show you a few things to do here that you can address as you roll out your muscles, but it is not super scientific. Whatever you do that's going to start rolling and digging in and to massage that muscle is gonna be helpful for this. So if you're having sore calves, the best thing to do here is put the pressure on your one calf and try to begin rolling it. You can put both calves at the same time if that's plenty of pressure and really digging in enough. And then of course you can just do it one at a time here as you're rolling like this. One of the things, the next thing that you can be doing here is rolling your back, your lower back. This is my favorite thing to do. And as you can see, I'm putting it on my lower back. And as I roll, it's doing two things. It's massaging my lower back muscles, but it's also decompressing my spine. This is huge for lower back problems and can make a huge difference in taking that pressure off of your lower back. That's my favorite. You can also bring it all the way up to your mid-back. If you've got any knots going on in the middle of your back or your upper back, go ahead and roll those out too, and it's continuing to loosen and decompress your spine. Good stuff. Okay, same way you can roll your hamstrings like this, okay? And you can do one leg up, or two legs, same way. And then of course, your quads, you can be rolling your quads here. One leg, two legs, okay? Putting one leg is going to put more pressure and is going to get a better massage, but it's up to you as you get started. Okay, and then the last one that I was going to show you is on your hips. Really get it on the meat of your hip. You can even get it behind up on your butt, but here as I dig it into the muscle here on my hip, that's going to be huge for massaging that out and help relieving a lot of pressure or a knots that may be in your hips like that. These are the main ways that I use it. It's going to take time to get used to how many times you should be doing it for how long. Usually I'm going to do 10 really good deep rolls on each muscle as I kind of do this routine. The other thing to be considering too is just how often you should be doing this. Let me just say is if you've got some sort of knots or soreness somewhere, it's good to do this and address it each day. However, if you don't, I would say just be careful in how often you're doing this. Your muscles are gonna, as you're massaging them, it does break them down to some degree. And so your amount of recovery after doing these, the more and more, and if you're doing it a lot, it is going to take something away from your muscles' ability to recover from your running. So it's good for working out and relaxing injuries and knots and tightness, but I personally only roll maybe two times a week, maybe 3 times a week max if I have some sort of injury. And there's plenty of weeks where I don't roll, or plenty of weeks where I may roll only once. So just keep that in mind. Lots of people swear by them, and it helps really relieve stuff that they've got going on. So it's up to you on how often you use it. Thanks a lot, and appreciate you watching the video this far. Hope you have a blessed day today. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thanks a lot.